probably got into coaching because you either wanted to or, to be honest, you were forced into it. The other parents either didn't want to do it or didn't have the basketball knowledge to even coach the team, so they just forced it all upon you. First and foremost, congratulations and welcome to the coaching family. But now you may be a little bit nervous because you've never coached before. You don't know how to set up practices, games, you don't know any of that stuff. Well, the first thing that you should do, don't worry about practices, games, your big, long, drawn-out coaching speeches. You have to first think about what your coaching philosophy is going to be. Because you can either coach to win or coach for skill and player development. Now, if you're coaching to win, you will make it very clear to the players and the parents that this is a competitive team from the jump. That means during games, players are not going to play equally. The better players will play more, or less talented players will play less. Now, of course, you're not going to say it as directly as that. You're going to put a ribbon and bow on it, but everybody should get the gist before the season even starts. Next, when you're in practices, you want to focus less on player development. We're not completely neglecting it, but we're assuming that these guys are a little bit more polished. So that means they already know about pick and rolls, down screens, off the ball screens, how to pass and cut, how to close out on defense with a high hand, how to stay low in a defensive stance and to not foul offensive players. So because they already know this stuff, now we can really focus on half court traps, full court presses, plays, and other things that's going to help the team become better. Now, conversely, if you want to go for a more skill/player development style, now we're assuming that the guys on your team are a little bit more developmental. They're not terrible, but they definitely need some work with things like passing and cutting, overall basketball IQ, where to go on the court. They may have trouble boxing out, rebounding, all the fundamentals that every player needs. So now when you're in practice, instead of working on these trapping zones or gimmicks, as I like to call them, you're focusing more on, hey, 30 minutes, we're gonna be working on our shot form, making sure they're tucking in their elbow, snapping the wrist, following through. In practice, you might spend 30, maybe 45 minutes on something as simple as walking around the court and having the players name each spot on the court because they're probably new to basketball and have no idea what any of this stuff is. Then when you get to games, it's a more of a equal approach, meaning if you have 10 guys on the roster and let's just say it's a 30-minute game, players 1 through 5 are going to play for 15 minutes and then players 6 through 10 will also play for 15 minutes. A lot more equal subbing and everybody gets a chance because again, we're not necessarily trying to win games, even though I know nobody wants to lose, but that's not really the focus. The focus is making sure that the players are getting better and they are improving individually. Now, keep in mind, this is not a concrete philosophy that you're gonna set now and 30 years later, you're gonna have the same thing. From season to season, this will definitely change. And to be honest, this is probably gonna change in the middle of the season as well. You may start by saying, hey, I wanna win some games right now, but then after the first couple of practices, you notice your guys are not really ready for that and it won't be beneficial. So in practice 4, you switch to a more skill and player development approach. Or conversely, you want to be a little bit more skill development, but the guys on your team are already too polished. And not only that, you're receiving pressure from the parents who are saying that they already do enough training, they already do enough development, but they just want to be a little bit more competitive. So honestly, yes, you have to choose if you want to be one way or the other, but you actually need to be comfortable doing both because you never know what the situation may call for. Then after you select your coaching philosophy, now everything else should fall in line. For example, if you want to be a coach that's focused on winning, when the players and the kids come to you, you're going to let them know from jump, hey, unequal play time. You're also going to let them know that this is competitive. So if you're not looking for a competitive team, you should look for another organization. Or if you're more skill and player development, when the parents come to you, you're going to tell them, hey, listen, we are not gearing to win. I just want to make sure that the kids are improving as individual players. So now everybody's expectations are aligned. Because I'm sure maybe you've experienced this where you've joined a team, your child is going to practices, you paid a lot of money, and then when you get to games, you may be confused as to why the coach is coaching that way. And now you're kind of getting a little frustrated and it's ruining the experience of the whole team. So if you can just think of your coaching philosophy and you get on board and on the same page as all the parents and everybody involved, it's going to make your whole life easier. Also, keep in mind that either philosophy is neither good or bad. that. They're just two different things. One doesn't make you a better coach, one doesn't make you a worse coach. So leave a comment in the comment section below which coach you want to be. If you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button below and send it to a couple of other coaches who may be new to this as well. All right, guys, Coach Darren out. Peace.
Yeah, sunny days. Yeah, sunny days. Sunny days. Gonna be a brighter day 'cause it's sunny days.